Hi, I'm Diana Wagner. Welcome to my channel. Especially if you're new here, I help women to thrive in their marriages, organize their homes, raise wholesome children, and just be the best wives and moms that they can be. So on that note, I am making this video about the importance of having an afternoon quiet time. Now, it's kind of like naps, or if, like in Mexico, they have siestas. So and in Italy, by the way, I went to Italy and everything shuts down in the early afternoon. It was just amazing to watch. They even boot you out of churches, by the way. So, but the afternoon quiet time is essential for just just revamping yourself, just to get yourself to be revitalized. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's important as moms to train our children to take naps, and there's no excuses here. You are the mother, so this is something that we can do. I know there's a lot of people that say my kids don't take naps. Well, that's just great, but they don't have to take a nap. They can lay down and they can read and they can just have a quiet time, or they can sit in a chair someplace quietly. They can keep to themselves for a little bit. They are able to do this. I know, because I have 14 kids. They've all done this, okay? So the way that I do this, well, first of all, this time is just sacred, okay? It's just, you need to make this a sacred time for you. Otherwise your evenings don't go very well, and you're exhausted. And especially if you're raising a lot of children, if you're raising, or even young children, just toddlers, you need this time to rejuvenate. So you do your best to try to make some kind of a routine out of this. So what you do is you make a quiet time or a nap time for your kids. Train them to take a nap. Younger kids, they can nap, they can read, they can lay down, they can sit down with some coloring. I've even done this at the table when I was just teaching them to sit still for a while, the ones that were kind of too old to take a nap, or at least never fell asleep. But they would sit at the table and just color. I sat at the table and I did my reading. I'd have my coffee, just quiet time. But there's just no excuses about this. You can do this. You can train your kids to do this. So the older kids that are, like, say, older than maybe 8 or so, we have, my kids call this their coffee hour. Okay. So even my teenagers do this, and my littles do this. I have she's 7, and she has a little afternoon coffee with the others. They call it their snuggle buddy hour or something like that, where they call the kids that are out of the house. There's certain kids that are just really closer, and they'll call them, and every day they'll sit there and have their little bit of coffee and just visit with their snuggle buddies, they call it, for an hour. Well, that's quiet time. So if you do that in the afternoon, that's great. So it's even gotten so extreme that the importance of this, that when we took our family on a big RV trip around the United States, we didn't get to do all the United States, but we did for about 5 months, I think 5 months. We were traveling, just looking around in the warm, well, it was cold where we were moving to, but we were driving around in the south and it was like sunny and warm. It was beautiful. But when we would get close to about 2 o'clock, the kids would be like, because we were in 2 separate vehicles, because my husband was driving the truck with the 5th wheel, and I was driving the bus that had the rest of the kids in it and our animals. And we took our animals with us. That was that was entertaining. So but we would be driving, and I would get this text from one of my daughters that was in the truck, and she's like, "Mom, it's 2 o'clock coffee hour and Dad's not stopping." So I would go ahead and text them and say, "We need to pull over. The kids are hoping for their coffee hour." So he'd text me back and say, "Okay, we're stopping soon." And we'd pull over and we'd open up the 5th wheel, and everybody would climb inside. We'd make some coffee and we'd sit down and we'd read for a little bit, take a break from driving. And it was just like the quiet time. So we even did it on our RV trip. So a lot of my kids during that 2 o'clock coffee hour, they'll sit and they'll read, they'll work on their schoolwork, or they'll write. Some of them are writing books. just whatever they want to do for their 2 o'clock coffee hour. And I'll sit there and I'll just read. Sometimes I'll work, you know, to catch up on something I'm behind on, like some canning or something. But usually I try to sit down and read, or my husband takes a nap, and that works out pretty well. So this is pretty important. It's kind of your rejuvenation time to prepare for the evenings and making dinner, and for when your husband's coming home and such, that you just want to take that time to be quiet and read a little bit, maybe have some hot chocolate or some coffee or tea, but just mostly just have a little bit of time to yourself. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.